Hey guys, Mary Beth here. I'm an intern with Chi Alpha, and we're on day 7 of the Ignatius Prayer Journey. We're going to read from Exodus, and the thought for today is God calls Moses to go and to liberate the people of Israel. And Moses feels incredibly inadequate, but God still calls him to do it anyway. And so we're going to be meditating on this idea of God using us as we are in progress. So let's take a moment to pray, and then we're going to read. God, I pray that you would make us aware of your presence, of your grace, God, as we step out to love and to serve those around us, even when we feel inadequate, even when we feel less than capable. You call us and you use us and you work in us as we go. I thank you for this, and I pray this in Jesus' name. It's really cool that this is the one that I was asked to speak on today, because this is something God has been speaking to me a lot. So we're going to read from Exodus chapter 3, starting in verse 1. Now Moses was pasturing the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the west side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. The angel of the Lord appeared to him in a blazing fire from the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush was burning with fire, yet the bush was not consumed. So Moses said, I must turn aside now and see this marvelous sight, why the bush is not burned up. When the Lord saw that he turned aside to look, God called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am. Then he said, Do not come near here. Remove your sandals and your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground. He said also, I'm the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Then Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, I've surely seen the affliction of my people who are in Egypt, and have given heed for their cry because of their taskmasters, for I am aware of their sufferings. So I've come down to deliver them from the power of the Egyptians, and to bring them up from that land to a good and spacious land, to a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanite and the Hittite and the Amorite and the Perizzite and the Hivite and the Jebusite. Now behold, the cry of the sons of Israel has come to me. Furthermore, I've seen the oppression from which the Egyptians are oppressing them. Therefore, come now, and I will send you to Pharaoh, so that you may bring my people, the sons of Israel, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh, and that I should bring the sons of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, Certainly I will be with you, and this shall be a sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you shall worship God at this mountain. Then Moses said to God, Behold, I'm going to the sons of Israel, and I will say to them, The God of your father has sent me to you. Now they may say to me, What is his name? What shall I say to them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, Thus you shall say to the sons of Israel, I am has sent me to you. God furthermore said to Moses, Thus you shall say to the sons of Israel, The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial name to all generations. We're going to take a second, and I want you to look back over this passage and just take a moment to meditate on it and see what God may speak to you from it. I think it's really beautiful how, as God calls Moses to bring liberation to the people of Israel, he's also calling him to receive liberation from himself. And even in his inadequacy, God is bringing liberation both to him and the people. So I want to encourage you in this time of uncertainty and maybe isolation, to find ways to interact with the people around you that brings life, that brings liberation. And in that, even if you don't feel like you're able to connect with the people around you, or you don't know how to speak life into others and how to communicate the truth of God, step out and allow God to use you. And in that, you will see liberation come to your family, to your friends, to the people you're in contact with, and to yourself as God changes you as you go. If you're following along on the website that we've been using, there's a reflection that's linked in here that I want us to read together. This is called A Work in Progress. And this is what the author, Sam Sawyer, says. God has begun a work in me, I'm told. I want to believe, but I hope God is better about finishing what he starts than I am. I've got the half-read novel lying around somewhere, and then there's that basket of laundry I've been meaning to fold. Or for that matter, that online retreat I started. Actually, what I really need to believe, and on my best days, what I do believe, is that God is not just better at finishing things, but better at beginning them. I may struggle to get up in the morning and find time to pray, but it's not because God is procrastinating about deciding to show up in my life. God's work in me is in progress, and that calls for patience. But the work is in progress because God has already begun it, and that's the reason for hope. I bless you today to allow God to work progress inside of you as you step out to serve those around you. I bless you to receive liberation as you bring liberation to others. And I bless you to experience the presence of God in deeper and deeper ways as you grow near to him.